thing I've found for me over time is like focusing on some sort of smallish feeling habits can have big results.
Yeah.
And so I want to have my habits super dialed in next year.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, I should get like something that's worked for me in the past is like getting accountability buddy and like checking in on my habits and like just saying what they're going to be and all that.
Yeah.
And as I'm prepping to do all this, I was like, this would make a pretty good course. I bet I'm not the only person that wants to focus on this.
Yes.
And also, hey, like runway matters. And so if I can have a course and make some money off it, that would be great too. So I can keep on working on Tuple and not feel stressed and all that. So kind of all those things came together and I was like, okay, habits for hackers. And so basically we're going to spend a month focused on 4 habits and try to get ingrain them, which is getting deep work done each day, like getting in the zone, protecting our bodies like from the ravages of programming. Like don't become a stiff, painful, broken mess by coding all day. Like what do you do to help, not feel like crap?
Yeah.
Optimize workflows, like how do you use your tools better, and also building an audience, because building an audience is one of the best things I've ever done for my career. And so I don't want to stop that habit, like keep that going.
Yeah.
And so I figure other people should probably be doing it too.
Yeah. One thing I want to say about this, and this is more a message to, how old are you, by the way?
35.
You're 35. Okay. So I'm 38. For years, I was telling myself a story about myself, which was I'm this old, gritty, haggard person who a little bit of an old man on the porch. And the reason I felt like this is because I did a massive career change when I was 28, got into the software world and instantly felt like an old person because all of the other people I was working with were in their early 20s and had been doing it forever.
Yeah.
And so I've constantly had this feeling of these earnest, these young earnest people and their habits and their good daily practices. And I had this kind of grumpy attitude about it. And the old Justin would have looked at Habits for Hackers and would have been like, wow, good for you, Ben. Like, that sounds super great, And I don't think I'm the only one that feels that. I think some people look at something like this and go, there's an earnestness about it that mostly because of ego can turn people off. And the biggest change that's happened for me in the last 12 months has been changing that programming in my head so that when I hear about something like this or, James Clear's book, which you've talked about and you're going to base some of the course on, Atomic Habits, the old me would have been like, good for you, James. Like, I can see you're super disciplined, whatever. That's not for me. And I really want to encourage people that have that programming, that kind of grumpy, like, I'm not going to do that. It's not worth it for me. Or that's only for these kind of people. If you can change your attitude about these things, like habits in particular is the best way to change your life. And I think some of my attitude was just like, I was just grumpy about my state of life, right? Mm-hmm. And it is when you're feeling down and you see someone else succeeding, it's like you don't want to have anything to do with that, but that is the very thing you need. You do need these daily practices, these habits, these things of like you're programming and you've been sitting at your desk for 3 hours and you have a choice. Are you going to go to Little Caesars and get a deep dish pizza, which would be maybe a bad choice for your body? Or are you going to make yourself a salad, which would be a good choice? Those little decisions do matter. And the thing that also helped unlock my thinking is I just kept seeing all the bad choices I made and going, well, what's the point? But what James Clear in his book kind of communicated to me is that, yeah, you make a bad choice. Everyone makes a bad choice. But at that stage, you can make a good choice and turn your day around. And then you can make another good choice and turn your day around. Just because you've made a bad choice doesn't mean you need to beat yourself up. Just like, okay, you had pizza for lunch. Just go for a run. Like, you can make a good choice now. And I think people who have maybe been frustrated in the past about habits, this course, like something like this, might be what you need. Even if you feel grumpy about it, even if you feel like, I don't know, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. There is a way to feel better. And the only thing that's worked for me is like these little habits, these little daily actions that go, okay, what am I going to do next? I'm going to go for a walk. That's like one little action I can take that will make me feel better.
Mm-hmm. Agree. Cosign. It's good.